FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Welcome. You are listening to the Financial Survival Network. I'm Kerry Lutz. It's January 19th, 2018. Still here in cool, chilly Miami at the North American Bitcoin Conference. Came across something really interesting. Jason King is with us, Academy School of Blockchain. Some really amazing opportunities exist here, not just to buy tokens, but to actually learn how to program blockchain type applications. Jason, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Pleasure. So, hey, as always, be part of the show. Got a question for myself or Jason, just email us kl@kerrylutz.com. So, Jason, you gave some amazing statistics yesterday that there are actually thriving, and I put thriving in quotes, companies who are on the brink of an existential event because they can't find the human capital to invest in their platforms.
That's exactly right. Currently, right now, for every qualified blockchain developer on Earth, we have 14 available positions in an industry that plans on growing 16x over the next few years. If you look at the fact that we raised over $4 billion just in ICOs last year, there's physically no way to deploy that capital to human resources right now. So my company did. We're Kingsland University, a fully accredited U.S. university outside of Atlanta, Georgia, and we have stood up the first fully U.S. accredited school for blockchain development. Our core focus is that we take existing software developers, and over a course of 6 weeks of intensive hands-on immersion in blockchain best practices, we can take an existing software developer and make them into a blockchain developer.
All right. So I got a kid, hypothetically, who's just graduated from high school, and I have a choice. He can go into Hawk for $80,000, say, if he goes to a so-so state school, or he could go learn how to program on the blockchain here. What's the cost involved, and how soon do you think he can get back his investment?
Yeah, so the cost for our program in the U.S. is $18,000. The core issue, if he's just a high school graduate, is that we have a pretty rigorous entrance exam, so he'd already have to be pretty well-versed in software development. But if he can pass it, he can get a spot in there. Literally, he could probably get his investment back the day that he graduated in some sort of signing bonus. The average salary for a blockchain developer is $163,000. And if you're a senior software developer, if you're a senior blockchain developer, it's essentially you can just take a blank check.
Write your package.
Yes.
That's amazing. So he goes through his first 2 years of community college, what we used to call junior college.
He could actually do those 2 years with us. We actually have a 2-year software development program that takes you from zero up to being a junior software developer.
And then he just can say pretty much, hey, I don't need to go another 2 years. I'm done. I just come to the North American Bitcoin Conference, and I put up a sign that said expert blockchain developer for hire, and then I kind of just sit back and wait for them, to take out their checkbook.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah, a little bit of an absurdity, but it really, supply demand, because prior to this, the leading opportunity in software development is AI. And I know people on the Space Coast in Florida here, freshly minted programmers out of college getting $300,000, $400,000 a year. But this is pretty competitive.
Yeah, it is a very competitive market right now. And unfortunately, in our industry, we're growing through, it's not really growing. We're basically, if you're getting a new software developer, you're poaching them from another company. It's not really a sustainable option.
So obviously, you got a background here in education. You saw the need. How did you get into this?
Well, I've been in the Bitcoin blockchain space since 2010. I've done a lot of work for blockchain for humanitarian causes. I founded 2 of the first blockchain-based charities. Sean Electrons Outpost, Unsung.org, Satoshi Forest. And what I was realizing is that the potential for change for those sort of the least fortunate among us, I think the blockchain can really help that. But getting developers to do that sort of work is near impossible right now because there's so few developers, and providing the financial incentives to get someone to work on a humanitarian project is extremely difficult right now because of the competition from the for-profit space. So what we realized was if we wanted that kind of work, the kind of work that will actually change the world done, we had to grossly grow the number of blockchain developers there so that we can have more competition in the marketplace.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept. So rather than, move the mountain, have them go to the mountain. So basically, because you're accredited, there's student loan and grant opportunities available from the State Department of Education?
Yeah, sure. So we have access to Title IX and Title IV funding. What that is that's access to the FAFSA grants and loans, so free financial aid for student assistance, and also all VA funding, so Montgomery GI Bill and vocational rehabilitation. For the first time, you can actually use those hundreds of billions of dollars in educational benefits to actually get trained up on the blockchain.
Yeah, and this really is a great opportunity for veterans. Veterans generally going to be more disciplined than a kid getting out of school, out of college, out of high school. They're going to be more motivated, perhaps, and they've got the GI Bill behind them, which the amazing thing I learned a number of years ago, Jason, is that only roughly 5% of the people who leave the armed forces, who are honorably discharged, actually take advantage of the GI Bill, and yet that is a major enticement for getting them to enter the services in the first place. It seems to me that you got 95% of vets, maybe only 5% of them or 10% of them are of the right mindset to become programmers, but this is their key.
Yeah, I'm actually a U.S. Army veteran myself, and Academy is actually very dedicated to getting the veteran workforce trained up on high-skill technologies such as software development and blockchain, and we're making a lot of inroads with that. We're actually in discussions with the Department of Veterans Affairs specifically to try to funnel a lot more people into our industry.
Okay, so hey, I didn't ask you before, but you're an accredited college. Is this a virtual campus, or is there a physical campus you can go to?
So we are very distributed. There's not a physical location for it, but we do most of our training is in person. We just train the trainer sort of mode, where we train a grouping of instructors, professors as it were, and deploy them out to markets where there's need for our services.
Hey, well, this sounds really exciting. You definitely have your hand on the pulse of the market, what's needed here, because, the shortage is acute of qualified blockchain programmers. Say, people want to find out more about you, more about the Academy School of Blockchain. Where do we go?
academytoken.com.
All right, academytoken.com. We will have a link to the site in the show notes to this interview as always. Hey, Jason, thank you so much. You're doing great work. We wish you the best of luck.
Thanks for having me on.
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.